news.
Well, we've all been waiting to find out where Zion Williamson was going to go with his shoe deal.
Oh, yeah.
He has agreed to a shoe contract with Jordan Brands.
Wow. No, wait, time out. Is that inside Nike?
Jordan has some relation to Nike, but it's a separate brand.
Okay.
If you're signed to Nike, like for example, LeBron is signed to Nike. He's not a Jordan Brand athlete. So while Jordan was originated with Nike, Jordan is a separate brand.
So a Duke kid goes with North Carolina's Michael Jordan.
Exactly, which coincidentally was the game where he blew out his shoe. So it all comes full circle. So he's joining Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Carmelo, and Jason Tatum.
Wow.
And, of course, the GOAT in Michael Jordan. I'm very excited about this. Jordan is my favorite sneakers and my favorite basketball player of all time, my favorite athlete of all time, and Zion is a superstar. So I'm sure we're going to get not only some very good-looking sneakers out of this, but he is going to have the publicity and gear behind him that's a pretty well-run
I'm actually surprised by this. So good for
I was too, actually. I kind of felt like it was Nike was done. I had no inside information on that. Just kind of felt like that's what it would be. But yeah, this is surprising and this is fun.
Here's what I like about Zion. He's not influenced. Everybody, don't play anymore at Duke. He's like, no, I'd come back for a second year. I love basketball. You got to sign with Nike. No, I'll sign with the Jordan brand. By the way, you can't stand Pelicans. You got to go. And he's like, no, I want to play here. I don't know his parents or anything, but he's got a real good self-identity. Like, he's not influenced by what guys like me say or media says. Like, this kid does what this kid wants to do, and I really like it.
Yeah, and it seems like he has a good group around him,
yes,
too.
I really like it.
So this is very exciting. So, The Athletic posted a behind-the-scenes look of Kawhi's free agency process this morning. Very interesting, including some details before the Clippers traded for Paul George. According to The Athletic, they analyzed and studied every roster and star player in the league, attempting to find out who would be the best fit alongside Leonard, both on the hardwood and a personality standpoint. The Clippers inquired about Washington's Bradley Beal.
My guy.
That is your guy. And Houston's James Harden, according to league sources, but neither star was available. The Wizards have made it pretty clear they're not interested in trading Bradley Beal. And the rumors about the Rockets were that pretty much everyone is available for trade except for James Harden. So this was kind of a stretch to begin with. But when you look at how this all played out, I think they got the best guy for Kawhi Leonard. Bradley Beal is obviously awesome and would have been great, but I just think Paul George, he just fits on both ends of the court with Kawhi, and he sort of fits the Clippers brand. And, they're both LA guys coming home, so this is kind of the better story. I don't think that James Harden would have been a great fit with Kawhi.
No, I mean, listen, there's a difference. James Harden is an analytically unbelievable player.
Right.
But in the postseason, I like two-way guys. I like Clay. I like Paul. I like Kawhi. I like Giannis. I like my defense situationally late. I think they work. I've said before, they shouldn't be an overwhelming favorite, but the Clippers should be the favorite to win the championship. That's what it feels like to me.
Yes, and it also had in there that Kawhi didn't play such a huge role in recruiting Paul George after all. It was more of the Clippers just being aggressive and saying we have to go all in and we'll get Paul George and show Kawhi that we're serious.
Clippers look smarter and smarter. Every story that leaks.
Yes.
On every story that leaks in the NBA, I'm like, oh, the Clippers really had a game plan.
They are winning the PR battle at this point. So finally, speaking of the Wizards, they're shaking things up in their front office after announcing the hiring of Tommy Shepard as GM. They have hired Sashi Brown, remember, of the Browns fame, as their chief planning and operations officer. Now, he didn't have the best tenure with the Browns, obviously. They went 1-27 with him in charge of personnel, which makes this hiring kind of interesting. Now, Paul DePodesta joined the Browns 3 years ago. He was the longtime baseball executive, famous in Moneyball. So it's not unheard of for guys to sort of switch sports. It's just kind of interesting because Sashi left the Browns on not the best terms. He whiffed in the draft, took Corey Coleman, famously passing up on Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson when they were in desperate need of a quarterback. But we're always talking about, how different sports could learn from each other. And it's interesting to me that an NFL guy going to the NBA, what I would take from the NFL to apply to the NBA, because I don't have a lot of critiques of how the league is run, but I do think that what the NFL does amazing is urgency. And now that's also just a part of the setup of the sport.
Right.
But I would like to see some sort of, and I don't know what that changes, and there are talks about, are they going to shorten the season?
Yeah.
Are they going to put in a mid-season tournament? What can they do to make the regular season have a better sense of urgency like the NFL does? That to me is one of the really only things I can think of that would bring to the NBA.
The Wizards are a really interesting franchise. And I don't mean this, I know the guy, Tommy Shepard. I knew him years ago in Las Vegas. My first job, Tommy Shepard worked for UNLV, and I was a Vegas sportscaster. They feel like, to me, a little bit like a lost franchise a little bit. I think I would, if I ran the Wizards, I would just bring in as many smart people as I could. Sashi Brown's supposed to be a real bright guy. I don't know a ton about him. He's the Rob Pelinka of football. People can badmouth him, but I just don't know enough about him.
And I don't like to judge how people exit situations like that. When it's that dysfunctional, it can't be one person's fault.
I'm not blaming Sashi, but I will say that this is one of the things with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal the organization has not lived up to Bradley Beal's standards.
Right.
I would think long and hard about re-signing. That's not a shot at anybody in Washington, but Bradley Beal is excellent. And this organization has not been excellently run. So I think this Bradley Beal thing is fascinating because Bradley can make more money in Washington, and they're going to offer him the max.
Oh, yeah, they are going to offer him.
But
now, they've said they're not interested in trading him, even if he does turn that deal down. But, that's easy to say right now.
And I also think you can get a lot. If Sashi Brown's an analytic guy,
right,
and you trade him, Sashi goes, you can get 9, we saw what the Pelicans got for Lonzo and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, no
or for Anthony Davis,
is not movable anymore. We've learned that, except for maybe Chris Paul.
I feel like Bradley Beal's been let down by his organization.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair to say. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if he ends up turning that offer down.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Live.
He's one of the single smartest people. I rely on his book. I rely one of the people on Twitter that's really a grown-up, offers incredibly keen insight into football. His name is Warren Sharp. He'll join us on the phone. There's very few guys that cover this league. We talk about analytics with the NBA and analytics years ago with baseball. He's on the forefront of analytics with football, and we're just going to ask him some numbers. Is perception reality on some of these teams? Warren Sharp joining us by phone, coming up next. TrueCar is a site, new or used car. When you go to buy a car, you're looking for clarity. An SUV. I used TrueCar about 6 months ago, saved over $3,000 on an automobile. With True Price from TrueCar, you avoid the confusion you encounter online by getting a great price you can count on before you ever visit a dealership. So they tell you the fees, they tell you the accessories, they'll show you what other people in your area paid for the car you want, and so you know what a fair price is. You can be confident when you go there. And they have a certified dealer network. There's over 15,000 TrueCar certified dealers nationwide. On average, we saved over $3,000. You could save over